everyone, thank you for watching Spill the Beans on CNN News 18. I'm your host Sakshi Litoriya. Present with me in studio today are two very special guests. They have come to promote their very recent release. The name is Tikdam. It's a tale, how do I describe? It's undoubtedly going to make you weep, definitely. It's very heartwarming. It's a tale about how exactly are you going to balance your professional and personal life. Without any further ado, let me introduce my personal favorite, Amit Sial ji. A very, very familiar face. And of course, the directorial debutant, Vivek Anchalia. Thank you so much for coming to CNN News 18 and of course our studios. Vivek ji, आपसे शुरू करते हैं. Tikdam, the name is very interesting. What's the Tikdam behind the inspiration?
The Tikdam behind the inspiration of the film, it is something that came to us some 17 years ago. 16-17 years ago, 2007-8, I used to work in a channel at that point, and the guy who used to sit next to me, who was also a dear friend, came up with the story of a father who's leaving for the city, and a couple of kids are trying to stop him. His kids are trying to stop him, and that is something that had bothered me all my life, even as a kid, growing up watching people around us, because I grew up in Delhi, and Delhi is one of the places that a lot of people come to looking for work. And it always used to bother me, who are these people who are living away from their family for their families? And that is something that, stayed with me. And when he told me the story, then I said, I would want to make it one day. And at that point, it was like a dream. But now we are sitting here 16 years later.
Sweet. And by the way, you just debuted with this film. So congratulations for that as well. Amit ji, हमने तो आपको डार्क इंटेंस रोल के साथ ज़्यादातर देखा है. We have seen you in Maharani, we have seen you in Mirzapur, we have seen you in Kala, we have seen you in so many series and movies. What about this one? अभी आप एक फादर का रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं, एक सिंगल फादर का इनफैक्ट. काफ़ी इमोशनल ये स्टोरी होने वाली है. How did you prepare yourself for this particular role?
I don't think I had to prepare much for it. I think I was absolutely ready to jump into something like this because of the reason that you just gave, that too much intensity was starting to bother me. And so when I got a call and I actually got a beautiful pitch deck from Vivek, I was completely unlike any other pitch decks I've ever received. You know, there were no jargon about the mood board and the the pictures of actors and जो एक normal होता है storyline this and that. Instead he had just this beautiful cartoonish picture sketch of the father and the son and the daughter and the grandparents. And describing all these characters in just 2, 3, 4 lines. It was beautiful, and I said, I want to do this. I think you gave me the mood board in the deck itself, and my heart knew that this is something special. But as luck would have it, fortunately or unfortunately, I went away to finish my other works, and almost forgot about this film. And when I finished the other works and I was at leisure discussing what else to do with my manager, I suddenly remembered. I think it made such an impression on me that it was right here in the subconscious, and I inquired, kya hua is film ka, which came along a long time back, I think a couple of months back or something, 3 months back. And so we got in touch with them again, and I think they were also, like honing up the, improving the script, and yeah, we just jumped right into it, and that's how it went. And as far as preparation goes, I think life had prepared me to do something like this. It was light, it is educational at the same time, it is not intense at all. Saying very, very big things in a very innocent way, very vulnerable, and it was. I had to just open that door from inside of me to become Prakash, the character, the lead character, the father in the film. And I didn't feel any difficulty at all, except for the fact that after the first day of shoot, he kept asking me to smile all times while saying my lines. I asked him कि यार मैं क्या पागल में जो हंसे जा रहा हूँ हर चीज़ पे. Then he showed me around, because the place where we shot the film at they were all hand-to-mouth existence and very simple, ordinary, villagers, and always smiling, always happy. And I think वो intensity ने इतना ज़्यादा वो कर दिया था ना घर मेरे being में, तो वो ऐसा to smile at all times ऐसा लग रहा था कि it won't look real, But I think it worked wonders, and I think it made me more of a smiling person than usual.
In talking about putting all the pieces together and sort of making this puzzle, if we were to talk about how did you exactly put the things on paper, on screen, from the casting towards selecting a village where you are going to shoot, why did you choose Amit Sial, and how did the casting for the kids go?
Yes, a lot of questions. So, in one. So it's like I said, it started with that story idea. Then over the years, I had a friend who believed that whenever you do this film, if at all you do this film, I'm going to be a part of it. I'm going to produce it. His name is Hardik, who's one of the producers on the film.
Oh, lovely.
Along the way, I met another friend who said the same thing. That's Savio. He's also a producer on the film. And then I met Pankaj, who I have to give a lot of credit to for the writing alongside me, because screenplay and dialogues are done by Pankaj and I. And he brought in the idea of climate change. He brought in the idea of these kids, the way they talk and a lot of things. He brought in the humor into the film. And then when the time came to figure out who's going to play this pivotal role, and as a director, especially when you're doing your first film, you dream that you get a great actor, so that he can take off a lot of load off your shoulders, so that you don't have to do that much work. And we just got lucky, because I saw Amit Sial and I always saw him as a great actor. I never saw him as a negative person or a positive person.
Absolutely.
I just saw him as a great actor who would be capable of anything. And when he said yes, that was a big moment for us. And meanwhile, we were also meeting kids almost on a weekly basis. I must have, between say 150 to 200 kids I must have met personally. And the kids actually got locked because of the time, because we had Amit's dates. And we had a month, almost 45 days left. That's when we locked both his kids. One of the kids was locked, Divyansh, who's playing the brother. Arohi and Arisht got locked 40-45 days before the shoot. And I think, I think it was destined that, these people would be a part of this film. And when you go and then you find more things about them, which then suddenly start working for the film, it is magic happening. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
I think the film led us all on its own. I think it's the film,
And then right towards the end, a studio came in.
Yeah.
I mean, studios don't do this. Studios don't make films like these. And when Geo Studios came in, so that was a big deal for us.
How beautiful, very smooth. Amit ji, your character is a bit puzzled about how exactly to balance the personal and professional life, right? There's this dialogue that I saw where you are saying that, kids can survive without their father, but they cannot survive without food.
Yeah.
But if I have to ask this question to Amit Sial, personally, what do you think about balancing the professional and personal life? And what would you give preference to, profession or spending time with family?
Yeah, if I compare my life to the character in the film Prakash that I play, I think my life is too complicated. In the sense that that line that you just mentioned, that he says, for him it's not he's not traveling to the city in pursuit of a career. He's traveling to the city because he has no choice, is what he says. And if B, then he would never want to leave his family behind. And that is the whole crux of the film, that imagine the plight of those people, which are in millions in our country especially, who would leave their villages, their smaller towns, cities, in pursuit of a job, just a job, not a career, so that they can send money back, and that money can look after their kids' education, or a broken wall or a roof in the house, stuff like that. I am the very privileged and lucky. I feel very privileged and lucky in the sense that I had a dream to pursue. I pursued that dream. I'm here right now, and especially in that kind of a spot, or space where I can choose my work. If I want to spend the next 2-3 days holidaying with my family, I can tell producers that I won't be available. Stuff like that. So my life is completely unlike what Prakash's life is in the film. So my truth is much easier than his.
And Vivek, similar kind of question for you also, because we all are living in a very fast-paced world at this point of time. Why do you think telling this story, although this story got you all motivated, that your friend narrated the story, you wanted to tell the story to world, but why today? Why is it fit for today's world?
I think because it's in the process of migration is increasing more and more, whereas it should be decreasing, as time passes, because things should be available wherever you are, and you should not have to choose between a family and and your career. It should, that would be it's generally how filmmakers look at the world. This is how the world is, and this is how I wish the world was. So even today, even today around me, I know there are 5 to 10 people who are living this life. So it's not something that used to happen, say 20 years ago, and doesn't happen anymore. So I think migration that way is a little timeless. And also, why now? Because now probably I'm in a position to tell the story. Because 10 years ago, I wasn't probably in the position. But this story should have been told at some point in time.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think that and
it's still so relevant today. And I think, and you're right actually, that the plight of migration should have reduced rather than, remain at the same level or
also
maybe
the
increased.
global the climate change aspect of it, that I think is becoming an extremely important issue at this point. So I think that I have to give credit to Pankaj, because he came up with this idea of putting this, and at first I said this can't work. There is no way that we will be able to switch from migration to climate change. But somehow while writing and figuring it out, it just worked out, and it did magic.
I know we are running short of time. I have a lot of pressure coming in from behind the cameras. But my last question, Amit, before we actually wrap this entire interview about the movie, I would want to know, because there are so many beautiful moments that you must have shared with the kids. Was there any moment where you felt emotional, or you thought that, this is exactly me playing Prakash?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think I ever could come to that level of maybe understanding or performing the character where Amit Sial and Prakash met or collided. I think more than me, I remembered a couple of occasions where my father, and we shared some sweet moments together where we both ended up crying. And while I actually was in Delhi when I was a little kid in APS, in Public School, Dhaula. I got admitted into that school because my parents thought that I'll be a well-disciplined, kid and maybe turn out to be an army officer or something. But I was too little, and I remember a point in time where my dad came and visited me and bought these little gifts for me, took me to Karol Bagh. I used to live in Rajinder Nagar, and took me to Karol Bagh. We spent a lot of quality time together, and then came the pangs of separation. The next day he had to go back to Kanpur. I was supposed to remain back in Delhi, and so that moment for me is completely like what Chini, who's my daughter in the film, probably suffered or thought or experienced when Prakash, which is played by me, was supposed to finally leave for the city. And I think those two moments were exactly
couldn't stop crying.
Exactly the same.
There's a scene which is in the trailer also and in the film also, when she hugs him and he just couldn't stop crying that day. And he thought it would be very difficult for him to cry that much, and but he just couldn't stop crying. In fact, it was such that day we had to take a 45 minutes break because everyone on the set was crying. And then we just calmed down, all of us. Everybody started calling their parents, and those 45 minutes was, we had to stop shoot. And we
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful tale, ladies and gentlemen. I am sure that you have also gotten curious by now, you would want to give it a try. It's already there on Jio Cinema. It released yesterday. which
No
was
try,
23rd
they
of
have to
August.
watch it.
You have to watch it.
Yeah,
Amit ji has
because
said.
it's a family film. They
Yeah.
have to watch it. You know, everybody can finally watch something together.
Yes, please do watch, and maybe with a box of tissue with you. And that's the scoop that I'm going to give to you before we wrap the show. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
here
you
on
so much.
CNN News
Thank you for
18. It
having
was
us.
a very good chat.